something. Oh, okay. I told somebody here that it's always interesting to me to attend these kind of things, but I hear all these sad stories and it just makes me feel so bad. And so I said, I'd like to tell my story and then you can get a chuckle out of that. And we got some chuckles just now. I went into the Army in 1942. I went in the Army in the Army Nurse Corps because I was a nurse and I just finished training. I don't know that what we did was what they do now with the men for a certain period of time before that they are sent somewhere, but we did have a little bit of training. And so eventually I went overseas. Well, in the meantime, my boyfriend had already gone overseas. And so he was in Africa. I went into Oran, not Iran, but O-R-A-N in Africa. And from there we went to Naples. And the hospital didn't do anything. We just, as they call it, staged. And so then we settled at a little place just above Naples. And opened the hospital. And hearing somebody talk about bombing every night, where we were stationed outside of Naples, there was a huge area, big as this room, that had nothing on it. And every night they came over and strafed that area. Well, we knew they were coming, so we went where we were safe and didn't lose anybody. That was just great. From there on, I went into a hospital unit, of which there were 8 of us, 8 units, and we leapfrogged after the battles each day. They're not doing anything like that now, but when we were the first hospital unit back of the lines, when the next push was on, the second unit came and we went to the back. The next time the third unit came and we went to the back. So you never had all of the serious injuries over and over and over again. You just got to leapfrog those people and get some other group to work on that. Anyway, it was great fun. My husband decided that we should be married as long as we were overseas, and I said, well, that's okay with me. And so he always said that he came to see me and to ask me to marry him, and I wouldn't let him get out of the garden where it was raining into the house unless I asked him unless he asked me to marry him, which isn't quite true, but he enjoyed telling that. So anyhow, eventually I had enough points to go home before he did. I went into Italy then, and as I keep telling everybody, Mark Clark and I won the war. He was my leading officer. And then, of course, we had a medical officer and financial and all the rest of that stuff. But we moved up Italy. Every time there was a push, we went. And we went. And eventually I was up at Lake Desenzano, which is very far north. And by that time I had accumulated enough points to be sent home. So I flew home. In the meantime, my husband had been sent to staging in Japan, or for Japan, and then of course, thank the good Lord, that wound up all empty before he needed to go over there, so he got to come home too. We had a bet on, whoever gets home first gets $10. Well, I got home first, and for the ladies, I went to Wanamaker's in Philadelphia. And in those days, the style was those little bitty hats about this high with a veil you just wore on the very top of your heads. That's what I bought. So eventually we had 5 children, and there never were any nicer kids, I'm sure. Our oldest son,
For sure.
our oldest son died 2 years ago with cancer. And we're sure working hard to do something about that. And happy to say that they are making some advances. I don't know how long it'll take to get really caught up with that, but it's nice to know that they are. I didn't say anything about the wedding. We went back to, my husband was stationed in Naples, so I went down to Naples and we had the wedding there. And they took a car from the train and put wheat sheets all over it inside, so it was a really white area. And one of the girls who cleaned for my husband's unit said, I have a little pair of chairs, which if you'd like to have them, you can have them for your kneeling. So somebody had those chairs and their name was on and all that, but we used them and that was lots of fun. Well, after the wedding, the unit I belonged to had a dinner and we all went to that, and then they had a room, 2 rooms in Naples for people who came to visit. That was the military people, not other people. And so they gave us that room for the night, and the next morning they gave us a 3/4 ton truck, sea rations for 10 days, and a driver. So when you hear about 3 on a honeymoon, that was us. So anyway, eventually we got home, raised our family. My husband died in 1986. I always say when I go to places like this, everything that everybody says is so sad, and it's true. And so I like to talk a little bit about some of the fun stuff, and I don't know anybody else that had that experience, but it was great. And I thank you sincerely for all your support. It's been wonderful.